Reawakening. Welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of Reawakening. This is your host, Chris Mann. And once again, our resident dream interpreter and life coach, Yvonne Ryba, shares with us a most noteworthy dream of one of her clients. Fittingly, for the month for which our country celebrates Independence Day, this dream involves some, let's say, fireworks of its own and perhaps an explosion of self-expression. For more information about Yvonne and her services, surf over to her official website, YvonneRyba.com. That's YvonneRyba.com. And then stay tuned for the 2015 launch of my site, RisingActionMedia.com. We'll keep you posted about that in the coming months. But for now, let's check in once again with Yvonne. Hello again, Yvonne.
Hi there, Chris.
We all want to hear one of your latest client dreams, perhaps, that you can share with us. So what you got?
Well, I'm going to read the dream first without any interpretation, all right? Because that's how I got it.
Yes.
And it comes straight from the journal of the dreamer, and it's a man. And he told me about it before, but then he got back to his journal and he wrote the whole thing out as he remembered it from that day. So here it is.
Okay.
I was with my uncle and aunt and my parents at my house. The men were leaving for a trip, and I was the one getting the guns. Bad people were attacking. My grandmother and aunt stayed behind in the house, and the truck was leaving without me. So I got all the guns and grenades. Had a lot of equipment in the house.
Yeah.
And then I was told to leave everything and run. So I did. But then I realized that the bad guys had the grenades and that the women were unprotected. So I shot the grenades and they exploded into lemon spray.
Okay.
And then I ran and, Then I ran and jumped into the truck. I woke up, I think, but closed my eyes quickly and an image appeared. I was lucid for a very short time and I saw a flowing, vivid image. It was a blanket of triangle patterns moving around. They were translucent, mostly yellow, but some pink and white. The triangles were connected to each other as a solid form, but the pattern moved in waves, rippling like a flag. So that was his dream.
So part of it was a lucid dream then?
That's right. And he said, I've been trying to do lucid dreaming after this had happened to him. And he said, I had a little bit of success. But, you know, lucid dreaming is a very difficult thing. I mean, some of us, when we're dreaming, are aware that we're dreaming. Mm-hmm. But lucid dreaming is when you're able to control the dream and even change it to suit you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this was a very interesting dream. And all I know about the dreamer was that he's come to a point in his life where he was needing to make some changes. Mm-hmm. But he didn't say anything else about what the changes were or whether it was personal, business, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And which is good because then I get a kind of clean sheet to write on when I get the dream. So what I emailed back to him, the answer, this is how I did it. I separated the elements in the dream out. And then beside that, I wrote what I thought each thing meant. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we start off with the dream that he's with his aunt, uncle, and parents in his house. Now, aunt, uncle, parents, that's the older version, the older part of yourself, because everything in the dream really is telling you about yourself. So it can also mean at times, if one of those is passed over and comes back to give you a message, you might actually be getting a message, because I believe that, because I've had it happen to me. But most of the time, and you can say 99% of the time, it's really your higher self is saying, pay attention to the wiser aspect of yourself here, the more experienced person, the aunt, uncle, and parents. Now, they show you, they teach you, they support you. And that's what I think they were representing. And the house is yourself as well. Mm-hmm. The house, everything in the house, including the house, is you. Now, the men in the dream, the uncle and dad, are getting the guns for the trip. Sounds like a hunting trip. And I said, well, this seems like Action Man, getting ready for something here.
Right.
Something in the future, right? And a trip in a dream is also a form of progress. It can be physical progress, where you're going somewhere, And often when people are going on a vacation or they have a trip showing up, they start to dream about journeys of some kind or getting to the airport or something. But it can also be progress in your life. And I think that's what it was for him. And I said a trip is some form of progress or change. It can be looking for a new aspect of yourself or a new experience. Okay, bad people attacking was the next part.
Yeah.
All right, bad people. Well, we pretty well can say there that that's a negative aspect of yourself. All right, now if there's more than one, there's several aspects here warring within you, and you don't like them. They're negative. That's the bad part. The house, again, remember, is you, and where you are in the house is an indication of what the message is about. So messages like, say you're in the bedroom. Well, the bedroom is sleep and sex, okay? Resting and sexual behavior. Depends what the dream is about. Or the kitchen is where we eat, and often eating is represented in dreams by what we're taking in and how we make our money as well.
Right.
We have to make money to eat. The living room, and I had a feeling from when he said he was getting the gun cases, you know, that's where we keep our guns in Texas. Gun cases are usually in the living room or in the garage, but he was in the house, so I think it was in the living room. So this is about his everyday life. Now he's realized his grandmother and aunt were going to be left behind, okay? Well, they are the feminine aspects of a person. So I wrote, these are the feminine aspects of you, just as the men are the masculine aspect.
I see.
A grandmother is a wiser, older form of knowing. Now that's the wiser woman symbol.
Right.
Often the wiser woman shows up in different ways. It can sometimes be a teacher that you had, suddenly shows up in a dream because she's a teacher from the past. She's the wiser woman. Here the grandmother was. Anyway, they stay in the house, which to me meant that you could pay more attention to your more sensitive, intuitive side, because that's what the feminine side of you in a dream represents.
Okay.
And remember, we're all masculine and feminine within us.
Right.
In our aspect.
Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, action man extraordinaire, has that intuitive side.
Absolutely. Okay, so then we started with guns and grenades here.
Right.
Okay, so...
Back to the manly stuff.
The manly stuff, yes. Now, this is where Freud would pop up. Because to Freud, everything in dreams had something to do with sex.
Right.
But guns especially, because of the shape of guns and the fact that they, you know, projectiles shooting out of them and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So guns are about the sexual side of life. Now, grenades, obviously, explosives, right? Big bangs exploding all over the place. They represent an energy that is being repressed within the dreamer and is seeking expression. I mean, there you've got in your hand this metal oval shape that really can destroy you and a heck of a lot of other stuff around you when it's released. But at the moment, nothing's happening, but something's going to happen. That's what this thing's made for. It wasn't made to stay like that. It was made to explode. So you can pretty well figure on the fact that it's going to explode at some time in the dream, that is. We're talking about the dream here. Then he was told, I don't know who it was, but somebody told him to leave. And that, to me, was when you're told to leave, it means get ready to take action, to go on this journey, make this progress, do whatever. Now, the bad men have the grenades. Somehow they got hold of these grenades.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so he decided to shoot the grenades, okay? Not just the guys, he's going to shoot the grenades. Remember, bad, as he put it, means negative. Grenades are repressed emotions. Shooting them means you take control of the situation and you let it out, as it were. You have it explode. Now, you're doing it in a controlled way. It's not exploding around you. It's exploding over there with the bad guys. But it's all coming out into the open, as it were. Something has to be cleared up here. Now, when he shot them, these grenades, this lemon spray came out, okay? So I thought it was kind of funny. And my first thought when he wrote lemon spray was air freshener.
Right.
To tell you the truth.
Right.
It was just, the housewife in me, we go and get sort of nice smelling air freshener and things.
Spray sunshine all over the place.
Yeah, that's right. And we have dishwasher stuff that's lemony, and so on. So it's a cleansing thing.
Okay.
A fresh feeling thing was what I thought. Anyway, this is what I wrote. The lemon spray can be good or bad depending on the symbols around it. Here, I think, it's a kind of cleansing action, like an air freshener almost. Mm-hmm. Letting your emotions out releases the negative and cleanses and perhaps even refreshes you. Well, there's no doubt it'll refresh you because you get rid of the burden, you see.
Right.
Now, yellow also has an important meaning. All colors have important meanings. I believe here that yellow is the color of positive thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
And also represents harmony.
Ah.
Okay?
Nice.
So this action would get you into balance. Now then he kind of came out of it and went straight back into, but then he had this kind of lucid little period of time where he had this shape that it was, and he said at the end, like a flag shape. And in the shape of yellow, pink, and white triangles, there was this kind of fractal movement, and they were moving and flowing between each other.
Right.
They were triangular in shape, mostly yellow with some pink and white, he said. And I said to him, this is a very lovely sounding symbol for victory.
Right.
The triangles are analytical. But you mentioned you have been going to a church that was quite restrictive in its belief system.
Uh-huh.
So I think that triangles could mean Trinity for you.
Okay.
Yeah, metaphysical terms, we say body, mind, and spirit.
Right.
So the flag, of course, is a wonderful symbol for victory. Waving the flag up there, and it was all these beautiful colors. So I finish off with the colors pink and white offer love and purity of heart and mind. So summing up, I would say you are in a place of sorting out your deeper emotions in relationships and in your life in general. How to know which way to go? Well, consult the inner, intuitive, sensitive side of yourself first, and then take action and release all ideas and outside influences which are pushing you into a place you do not like.
Yeah.
You are being promised a victory if you do this. And then I told him that he may have more dreams because you can get series of dreams where you kind of helped along with the message.
Right. And so essentially you're saying take aim at what you're repressing and give it some expression. Let it explode.
Mm-hmm. But he shot the gun to make them explode. He has to take action.
Okay.
It's no good waiting for somebody else to do it. You have to get out there and do it. And it's time to do it. Your subconscious is saying, don't wait around any longer. Get out there and do it.
And the grenades, that's fascinating. He's shooting the grenades. There is a release there, but it's a positive release.
It is, yes. And he was very sweet, and he replied that you've described nearly everything I've been working through in the past few months and have provided clarity all with the one dream, which I thought that was rather nice, yes.
Very cool. So it gave him some direction to listen to that intuitive side.
Yes, and the interesting thing is that sometimes we need to be given permission to do stuff. I know that sounds weird, but even when we're adults, we can hang around in a ridiculously stupid situation that's not doing us any good.
Sure.
And we're frightened to let go, but then we are given permission by somebody or something. And we recognize that's the true thing, and suddenly the light goes on above our heads, and we say, of course, and we go for it.
And I've always felt that yellow, in addition to positive emotions, to me, yellow always sort of connotes a bright idea, illumination.
Yes.
So I think that that's all positive there. So hopefully he takes heed and does what he has to do there.
Yes, I'm sure he will. With a dream like that. And it was done in such a way as to make him think.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that subconscious does in our dreams. It gives us these strange events and funny cartoon-type dreams sometimes, of which we think, what on earth is going on here? So we start to think about it.
Right. I'm always mesmerized by your interpretations. Even the smallest of dreams, or something that does seem like a comic or a cartoon, can be embedded with deep meaning. Yes,
that's true. Sometimes the very simplest little dreams can have a huge meaning. But these long, complicated dreams, they're trying to get the message across. And sometimes, like adverts, they repeat it 3 times.
Right.
You know how in an ad, the names of things, they don't just show it once. They keep on pushing it to you.
Sure.
And that's what the dream will do, too.
So that you pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention and start work on this thing. Get out there and explode it. Let it go. Let it be all out in the open. Let's do it in the open for once.
Great stuff, Yvonne.
Thank you.
I thank you, and I thank your client for sharing that.
Yes, very good of him. That was nice.
Well, we thank you both, and we're looking forward to the next one in late summer.
Thank you. Yes, I look forward to it too, Chris. Bye-bye.
Reawakening with Chris Mann and Yvonne Ryba is a Rising Action Media production. Copyright 2014 by Chris Mann.